addition to saying welcome to all of you, also say welcome to Janice Ikeda, who is our executive director for Vibrant Hawaii. Janice has over 18 years of experience in grant writing and grant reviewing. She has written proposals that have been funded, that have been awarded funding from federal, state, and county, national and local foundations, as well as philanthropic organizations. An avid organizer of people, spaces, projects, and processes, Janice builds from this passion to facilitate teams through the grant cycle from ideation to celebration. So it is with great honor that we kick off our grant series here with Janice Ikeda for part 1 today. Welcome, Janice, and thank you for kicking this off for us.
So thanks everyone again for joining us. We are very excited to be sharing this information with you. The objective outcomes of today, what we hope you will be leaving this experience with, is an overview of a typical federal, county, and charitable foundation RFP. We want to be able to provide you insight into the key sections that grant writers and grant planning facilitators need to pay close attention to. And at the end of the workshop, we want each one of you to feel that you have increased in your ability to understand the components of an RFP, to determine whether or not an RFP aligns to your organization's mission or your program intent, to map out a plan of action, to effectively engage and facilitate team contribution toward successful submission, and identify critical information to avoid disqualification. So diving into the work, level 1 grants, a foundation RFP. Now this is very generalized. I will say that some foundations award several hundred to multi-million, multi-year projects. So this is a very generalized statement. I will also say that I think the word simple does not mean easy. There is no such thing ever as easy money anytime anyone is investing in your work. They're making an investment and it is work. So, okay, we are going to walk through an example and we'll drop this in the chat in a little bit. But what we're going to do is start focusing on one of those priorities or objective outcomes of today, which was to be able to go through and see and determine, is this grant opportunity the right fit for your organization or for your project? This is a really important step. And so the first thing that I do whenever I start thinking about a foundation is I go onto their website and I start to really ask these questions. Is there organizational alignment? Not all money is the right money. Not all partnership is the right partnership. And you want to be able to enter into a partnership or a relationship with your funder with authenticity and in ways that really are going to be mutually beneficial. And so some of those questions to ask and things to look for is what is important to them when you're going onto their website, looking through their vision, looking through their mission, sometimes going on Googling what kind of news pieces they're putting out. That will tell you a lot about what they're proud of, what they're passionate about, and take the time to learn about that. I always go on and I start to look at who's on their board. What are the sectors and industries and values that are represented on their board? And then I start to look into who have they funded in the past. And again, do I start to see like, hey, there's an alignment here. This could be a really interesting relationship to start to develop. What's important to them is important to us too. What's important to us is important to them. I linked a resource in. I know a lot of folks are going to ask, can we get a copy of the PowerPoint? Can we get links to all of the resources that were shared? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Everyone who is signed up will get a summary with links to everything. And this is a really interesting article that just got published by Stanford Social Innovation Review, and really challenging folks to think about where funding is coming from and the source of that funding. So some other questions to consider as you're going through like kind of a cost benefit analysis. Again, is this the right thing for our organization right now? How much funding is available? How much is the typical award that they provide? What are their grant priorities? What do they not fund? Is their funding cycle currently open? Is it by invitation only? If it is by invite only, again, do you know anyone on their board, or does anyone on your board know someone on their board? And if the cycle is not open, let's see, can you sign up to receive notice of their next funding cycle? Again, that's a real key in this. You're in it for the long run. If you think there's total alignment and this is very interesting to you, but you just missed the cycle, oftentimes you can sign up for their newsletter, sign up to receive notices. And finally, what are the grant requirements? And then asking, do we have the capacity to fulfill this contract? Again, the worst thing that I think you could probably do is enter into a contract and leave a bad taste in your funder's mouth because you had poor communication, or at the end, you just did not fulfill your end of the contract. So really taking the time to ask, do we have the capacity to do this? When's the deadline to submit? And really important, when are the awards made? Because you might have a really urgent project that you want to execute, but the award is not being made for like 9 months down the road. So really taking into consideration when the award is going to be made and where your organization and your capacity is going to be at that time. And then looking through what kind of reporting will you need to provide. This can take a lot of time within your organization. So really being judicious and looking through what you're going to need to provide. Do you have the capacity and do you have the will within your team to be collecting all that data and submitting the report?